That would have been stop instead of start. All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Talking Tactics podcast. My name is Daniel Tuluk.
It's a kid, double H. It's a kid, trying to live, trying to survive, trying to stay alive, trying to be the blackest guy can be. Thank you very much. Stay true, stay black, stay sexy.
We do the podcast every Tuesday. Carl was in Ireland, I think. I saw some pictures on his Instagram where he was in Dublin. So
Ireland, but Dublin.
I don't know if he's back in London yet. I'm assuming he might be, but, you know, apparently there was like plane problems or whatever. So it's just Half Hope and I, the original duo. But, you know, that's cool. Follow us on Instagram at Talking Tactics. Twitter, it's probably the main one. If you want questions in the show, by the way, a lot of people are asking me, like, how do I get my question in? How do I do this? How do I do that? Follow us on Twitter, man. We make it very simple. We don't tweet that much, but I do make sure I retweet the week's episode enough. That way, if you haven't seen it, you've seen it. So I apologize sometimes. I'm sure that might be annoying.
You must tweet, man. Tweeting is life, bro.
We're on Facebook as well. So like us on there. I'm not exactly sure how Facebook operates, to be honest. But what's the other one I'm missing? Follow us on Soundcloud. We're nearing 400 followers. We're really close. It was something I was like, hopefully by the end of the year, we can get like 400 on SoundCloud. So if you listen there and you just kind of don't follow, but like you listen, give us a follow, man. Also, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review and we will read it on the show. Apparently there's some trouble that Apple's going through this week or this month or something, like this period with like the podcast reviews. I got an email that's like, you know, we're having problems with the reviews or whatever. So,
oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a whole network problem, I guess, for Apple. So no reviews this week, but if you left us one, trust me, we will read it. Not on next week's show, or not next week, because next week is Christmas, so we're not going to be here next week. But apparently, we're going to be here New Year's Day. So we will read it New Year's Day for sure. Actually, yeah, this is the last episode of this year, really, because the next episode is going to be January 1st. So
look, man, it's been a ride, man. You know, what's it called? Began in 2016, rolled in 2017. So basically, this is the second full year that we've done on Talking Tactics, man.
Yeah. That's crazy. You know, we've done some really cool stuff this year. Next week, I guess since we won't be doing a show, what we can do is we can maybe like on our Twitter page, we're probably going to highlight the World Cup stuff that we did. That was really good. And obviously the Talking Tactics special that came out earlier this year. If you haven't heard that.
The World Cup stuff was this year, wasn't it?
Damn, have you forgotten the World Cup?
No, I don't know. Just like I forgot that. Oh yeah, this was the year of the World Cup and all that stuff. Like, oh damn.
Yeah, man, we've done a lot. We've done like 2 really good projects in terms of the special and the World Cup stuff. And then we've given you guys a podcast every week with a few extras and some emergency communications peppered in. So it's been a good year. I'm happy the podcast is growing. I'm happy people seem to like it. So another thing that we don't say enough, thank you, number one. And number 2, like, share the podcast. If you really enjoy the podcast, we don't have any like major backing or anything like that, you know. So it's kind of up to people to.
We're independents, man. We ride. We're from the street.
Exactly. So like, we need you guys in some ways to help us out. Like, if you know people who listen to podcasts like football, etc., like, shout them out. Like, have you heard Talking Tactics? No. Well, check it out. It's on iTunes. It's on SoundCloud. It's on Spotify. It's wherever you listen to podcasts. So just thank you guys for riding with us this year. We'll be here next year. We got some special stuff coming out next year. Hopefully a Patreon page. I know a couple of people have been asking about that. So we're planning on, I guess it would be January 8th to officially start our Patreon account. That'll go live probably sometime in early January, the 1st or the 2nd. We'll probably launch it, and then all the initiatives will start from then. So
look, I'm thinking basically is like, you know, we obviously we've been doing this since, you know, 2016 and everything, you know, and we just feel that we're at a stage now where, you know, we want to try and take things into a whole new level. And we said obviously everything will be explained further once, you know, the page fully launches, so you can see what the different pledges are. Because what it is, it's a combination of, you know, if you love it, pledge, you know, help us to grow and to do more stuff so you can support us. But also as well, we want you to get value for your buck, as we say, so to give you some good quality things. But even beyond that, we'll still always drop the episodes available for everybody every Tuesday. So it was a Wednesday.
I'm kind of excited to do Talking Tactics Extra. Like,
no. That's because I've of course so much to talk about. Because, like There's the amount of times I've asked your boy Danny that can we please do an extra on this dude? Can you please do an extra on this? And we never end up doing it. So
yeah, man, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So yeah, all right. Our little speech out of the way. Just thank you guys a lot for sticking with us through the year. So yeah, all right. You know, we could start with the Champions League draw quite easily, but I want to save that because that's more relevant information. So let's just get rid of kind of like what's past, and then we can look towards the future. So we had can we call this a big match still? If people are now saying like Manchester United are like a mid-table club, like
it is not a big match. It is not a rivalry. No.
Historically, it's relevant.
Sorry, no, it's not. No, it is not a rivalry. It's like, oh my gosh, these are two. No, it's not. I live in 2018. I don't live in 1980 something or 2004 something. In 2018, Man United are a mid-table club. Man United are 5 points away from 13th place. Okay. And Liverpool are currently top of the table. There is a huge gap in quality in the league, and there was a massive gap in quality in the match. So after you were so much, it's like, no, this ain't a rivalry. Sorry, it ain't. So, no.
So, like,
they're a mid-table club. I'm sorry. Like, I know it's hot United fans, but I'm sorry, they're a mid-table club right now. Change it in the future, but as of right now, they are psychologically a mid-table club.
It was funny how like people were like Carl and Paul were talking about like it's the top 5 in Arsenal. Like, nah, it's the top 5 in you guys. It's you guys, man. We will get to Liverpool and how well they played, because maybe we can kind of contrast that or juxtapose it with Manchester City in terms of like the title race, if you want to put that in inverted commas. But let's start with Manchester United, and specifically let's start with Jose Mourinho, your boy, Jose Mourinho. He doesn't play Bailly, but he doesn't start Bailly. Then Bailly comes on. He doesn't start Martial. But Martial comes on as well. In terms of like, what's what I'm trying to find? In terms of like a rescue, it was a rescue mission.
But in fairness, I don't know whether it's true. I heard that Martial had like a bit of a slight groin injury, so he wasn't fully fit. Okay. That's what I heard.
Okay,
that's what I heard.
But like if you're on the bench, you can play. No? Like, you wouldn't put a player who couldn't start on the bench.
True, no. Basically, no, look, this doesn't mean that. From what I heard, is he apparently had a great injury. But in my view, as you said, if a guy has a slight something, bro, don't even put him in the squad because you don't want to aggravate anything like that. So if dude's on the bench, I'm sure he's fit enough to start.
I mean, yeah, it's not like he's coming from like some major injury, kind of like what happened with the Man City game where Kevin De Bruyne was given like a few minutes. Like, we understand like maybe he couldn't play the whole 90. But Martial, if you're on the bench, you probably could. The major story was Paul Pogba didn't feature. He was on the bench, but he didn't start. Like,
wait, so did you see his expressions on the bench?
He was just like, okay. It's just like, oh, this is really. I mean, as someone who is a Mourinho connoisseur, he's your boy, he's your uncle, extended family member, all that. Yeah. You have his phone number on speed dial, etc. Jumping into his mind, can you help explain to us why Mourinho is doing what he's doing in terms of his team selections?
It's over between Mourinho and United. It's actually been over for a few months, and I've said many times before, yes, I think Mourinho is a coach and is one of the best things ever to happen to football, but this is a bad fit. It has been a bad fit for many months. I think Mourinho right now is just going into autopilot because Mourinho is like, okay, these dudes haven't sacked me yet. Look, I'll just do whatever the hell I want. And if nobody is going to fully stand in line, man, I don't have to play whoever does I want. Because Mourinho knows that, look, it's done. You can even see in his press conference, he knows that it's done. And I think he knows that I didn't get the targets I want. I didn't get the defenders I wanted. I can't get through to these players. And the key players I'm not connecting with. Pogba, Martial, I'm not really connecting to them on a man-management level. So you know what? Screw it. I'll just do whatever I can, try and do the best I can with the players that are there, and see where the cookie flies until these guys sack me and give me my 7th package. So
what is see where the cookie flies? What does that mean?
Look. I've been saying that since I was like a teenager. I'm not sure what it means, but you get the general idea. So
it should be how the cookie crumbles, right? Not how the cookie flies. But anyway, I think I just think it's odd. But I think, as you say, like how Mourinho's gone into autopilot. I forget who said it. This isn't an original thought, but I could have pretended like it was, but I'm not. Somebody put this in my brain. I forget who. But they just said Mourinho's playing who he likes at this point. And he doesn't really like Pogba. He doesn't really like Martial. He probably doesn't really like Bailly. So he's playing the players that he likes. He likes Fellaini. He likes Herrera. He likes Matic. He likes Lukaku.
Wait. Did you see Mata's blog post?
I did not.
No, he basically said, sorry, guys, nothing to share. Everybody knows how I feel or something, and that was it.
Yeah, I thought like they shut his blog down.
Oh, why?
Juan Mata. Yeah, I thought there was like something about it. Like the results weren't that great, so Juan Mata is going to stop his blogging or whatever, was something like that. There was something like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just think, as you say, he's gone into like siege mode in terms of like, I'm going to play the players who I like. These are my men. They're going to get me through it. If I feel like you aren't riding with me like you should be, then you're just going to be on the bench. And Pogba Mourinho probably doesn't feel like Pogba's riding for him like he should be. So you're on the bench. Like, I can't trust you in that way. Even though I feel like Pogba might be bad or poor or not as good as you think he might be in little games or small games. But Pogba's the type of player, if you put him in a World Cup final, if you put him in a Champions League final, if you put him in one of these big derby matches, he's going to play up to the level, kind of like how Drogba used to do. And that's the first player that comes to mind. But like, obviously, I'm a recovering Chelsea fan in some ways. Like,
so you're still officially a Chelsea fan?
I'm not officially a Chelsea. I'm not a Chelsea fan like rah rah rah. But I discovered like last week or just this past weekend, like I don't know if I can do this. As much as I'm willing, like it's what did Jesus say to Peter? He said something like, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You know what I mean? Like, my spirit is there. Like, I want to give it up, but my flesh is weak. You know, like it's hard to watch it and just like not care. But I'm slowly. It's a baby step process to like kind of just pulling myself off the drugs. But anyway, Drogba used to be really, really bad against small teams. People lionize him now because of what he did on the big stage. But like, if you watched him against QPR or like, I don't know, I can't even think of like Newcastle and teams like that. Like, yeah, like Drogba would put in some really bad performances, and it might explain some of his like poor goal numbers. But you put him in the big stage, you put him in the Champions League final, FA Cup final, against the other top three clubs at the time, whether it was United, Arsenal, especially, or Liverpool. Drogba's going to play up to the level. You're going to see the best Didier Drogba. You're going to see the best lone striker perhaps ever. You put Pogba in those same situations, and I feel like he would play up to the level of the game.
No. Like, and that's why, like, there are players, because I told you, football is like 70% psychological. 70% psychological. Like, the mental part is overwhelming the physical part, because everybody has the talent and everything mostly. But what separates people is the mentality and your approach. And there are guys who, oh my gosh, it's a big game, it's a massive game. You're just more G'd up. Whereas if you look across and it's like Sunderland or Norwich or like Scunthorpe, you're like, okay. No, and again, no disrespect to those guys, but you're like, okay, look.
No. He's like, you are mad disrespectful to Scunthorpe, bro.
Look, Pep still needs to go and manage Scunthorpe, man, and win a trophy with Scunthorpe for me to recognize him. So we're not just watching the game, because again, I have actually defended Mourinho to say, look, Pogba, you've not been playing well. Losing the ball too many times, you've just not been on point. So I get the point, but United were so bad. They were so horrible. When I just looked at Pogba on the bench, I was like, would Pogba really make things worse? Because what I'm looking at is really bad. There is no creativity or imagination whatsoever in this. Like, Herrera is playing like a guy from the damn sewer. Like, but my thing is that, and this is why I said, like, what does Mourinho do in training? I want just to see one training session he has with the United team. Like, what drills do they do in training? I'm looking at this team, I'm like, wait, have these guys trained? This look like a bunch of strangers just been thrown into a game.
Do you know what? I actually think, and we've had conversations about this on the podcast before. Mourinho definitely trains defensively, and he definitely trains set pieces. Liverpool had like how many corners, and it never really felt like they're going to score from this corner. Partly that's due to the delivery of the corners and things like that, but it never really felt like those set pieces were going to trouble United dramatically. So I feel like he does work on set pieces and just general defending. But when you contrast that with like what we see from Pep and what we see from Klopp, what we see from Pochettino, what we see from I'm not so sure about Emery. I haven't watched that much Arsenal. And what you see from Sarri, these coaches clearly
Tuchel, Favre,
clearly train the attacking third. And I think the more we see coaches like this that are clearly training, they have predetermined movements, where you're supposed to go, where the ball's supposed to go, things of that sort. When you see Mourinho and everyone else is doing this one thing and he's not doing it, it stands out. It's very stark in terms of like, what is the offense? Like, what is your attacking plan? Do you have one? And it's very clear and evident that there seems to be no, outside of like special player do something, there is no attacking plan. And then he compounds it by putting his best special midfielder, Paul Pogba, on the bench. And then Martial, his best special attacking player, let's put him on the bench too. And then you just have Lukaku up there trying to feed balls through Jesse Lingard if his touch is all right. It's actually insane for a person that's whose reputation, shall we say, is known to be some level of genius.
No. I mean, it's but you have to go back. Let's go back to 2010.
Oh God, that's eight years ago. That's
easy, relax. 8 years. Eight is the new 2. Okay,
what?
8 minus 6 is 2. Yeah, 8 is the new 2. When you go back to 2010, one of the greatest troubles of all time, you had Danny. I'm hearing that sigh. Please don't sigh. Like when you look at 2010, I think you could trust in Milito to get it done, Snyder to get it done, Eto to get it done, Pandev to get it done, because those players individually, they had a very specific role and they could pretty much execute that role really well. But those guys, like Milito was like in his 30s. Eto was either 30 or approaching 30. I think Pandev was approaching 30 as well. Snyder was pretty much in his peak of his time. So, but you look at Lukaku, Lingard, Pogba, Martial, these are young players. And these are players who don't have the same kind of characteristics that those Inter guys have. So therefore, these players need more coaching. And not even necessarily more coaching. More coaching, and coaching into what is the offensive strategy. Snyder, Pandev, Eto, Milito, they didn't really need attacking drills. It was much more about pragmatic execution. Boom, 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 go. Boom, 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 just go. So you don't really. So all you need is that give us a platform to get the ball in the final third. We can Snyder, Eto thing, and we can figure it out. But Martial, Lingard thing, left there, and Lukaku, my Lord in heaven, left their own devices. They can't figure it out. They need some help. So,
who exactly in Manchester United's midfield that we saw yesterday is capable of like launching a competent counterattack? You really gonna trust Herrera or Fellaini or Matic with that duty?
No.
So even if, in theory, you put Lingard, you put who's the other one, Rashford, and you put Lukaku, 3 players who should be generally good on the counterattack, how are they getting the ball?
No, bro, search me. I have no idea, bro.
And again, the sick thing is, as we saw in the World Cup final for Mbappe's goal, how did Mbappe score that goal? Paul Pogba was just a genius.
Yeah, Pogba, yeah.
So you have this talismanic player on his day, and you just choose, you know what? I think Herrera might be better because he could maybe stop like Mane But then we saw what Mane did.
Oh no! I mean, but basically, look. Mane gave birth to Herrera's twins. He gave birth to Herrera's twins. Like literally, Herrera went back to Spain. Literally, after he did that thing, Herrera was. That's one of the worst cleaners I've seen in recent times. Like it was a full on. He took him out to London. He didn't play.
I didn't even want to talk about it just yet, but like it. I don't know. It just came to mind really.
Oh no! Trust me, we'll talk Mane. Don't worry. There's something I've got to say about Mane. But yeah, the issue is Pogba is United's most talented player all round. Martial is their best player just for attacking wise, but as far as just all round talent, basically Pogba is the guy that you should really be building the team around. But so if him, Poirier and Pogba do not see eye to eye, that's an issue. And if you're having Herrera and Matic in the heart of your midfield, you're screwed. You're screwed. Like there is. And hey, do you know how bad Ashley Young is? He's
a bird shot in his mouth. Ever since then, like I'm just like I don't even want to talk about this guy.
Oh what? Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
Ever since the bird poop incident, I was like, oh, the heavens have spoken, bro. Like. Yeah, but like I I can't even talk about fullbacks really because like Chelsea have Alonso.
Look, man. Look. If Alonso,
you know what I mean? So like that would be the pot calling the kettle black, wouldn't it? But yeah, I want to know. You said Mourinho would be fired by Christmas. Do you think there's a chance within the next week that he could be gone? Because I feel like as long as Manchester United are in the Champions League, which we'll get to, he's not going to get sacked. Because I read today, I'm forgetting the newspaper, if it was a newspaper, 24 million is what Mourinho is in line to get if they sacked him today.
What?
Now, Conte was being a dick over like 9 mil. Mourinho has a 24 mil. That's like almost 3 times 9. So.
Let's be real with Mourinho. Conte, in my view, tanked that season. The guy was standing with his arms folded and said, "Look, pay me that 9 mil. I don't care." Mourinho is actually trying. Mourinho is genuinely trying to say, "Look, let me get the best that I can do." But he's like, you know what? This is screwed up. Pay me the money. I'm not going to step down because 24 mil would do very nicely in Antigua or Montego Bay or something like that. But it's like, I still think that Mourinho is still doing more than what Conte did for his severance package. But my gosh, 24 mil.
Did you see Woodward speaking with Sir Bobby Charlton?
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's kind of
no. But that's like, what was he saying? That's what I want to know. Like that was the moment. I said, wait a minute. What exactly are you saying?
He looked really frustrated in terms of like just the body language, and then he made like one hand gesture. And I was like, that's interesting. In terms of like maybe he's talking football with Sir Bobby Charlton. Sure. He's like, why are we doing this? And then just like a little frustrated move, like.
But see, this is the issue because everybody is like, oh, Mourinho is this, Mourinho is that. The issue is the board. Those are the guys because obviously it's not working. Obviously, this third season jinx may be a real thing.
It's facts.
So sack him. I said long ago that this is a bad fit. Sack him. So are you saying that? Okay, there's a couple of things. So basically, maybe the issue is that you can't afford to pay him 24 mil, so you don't want to sack him. Or, which is what I think, it's Man United. You can't afford 24 mil, but you don't actually have anybody in line to take over.
There's no contingency plan.
Yeah. And that for me is like, because it's what Gary Neville has been saying for weeks. That is horrendous management. Because for a club like Manchester United, this has been going on for months. I mean, for me, when they lost to Brighton, I was like, something's up here. And then that Newcastle game, especially that first half, forget what the scoreline was in the end. That first half was like, guys, come on, this is a joke. This is not happening. So throughout all this time, you've not really found any somewhat of like it seems so obvious. You guys obviously need a much more of an attacking offensive coach. Because let me be real with you, Moyes was never given a summer. Like for me, Van Gaal and Mourinho, I think were the wrong people for United. I think their philosophies, I just think were at odds with what the club is about and the players they had. Moyes was, I think, was the right idea. Just that was again that season was tough, but they didn't give him a summer. So yes, he finished 6th, but then so did Van Gaal in one season, and so did Mourinho in his first season. So I felt that if they'd given Moyes a summer, time to learn with the squad and everything, who knows, maybe Kagawa would have come really, really good. Because United were they were losing games, but they were far more exciting under Moyes than they have been under Mourinho and Van Gaal.
Do you know what? Wouldn't you consider Van Gaal to be an offensive manager?
Not really. No, Van Gaal is like he's a passing manager. It's not really attacking. It's much more about
possession.
Yeah, basically, it's a possession-based game. Like he did it with Barcelona, did it with Holland. It's possession-based. It's not a lot of, basically, he wouldn't be like one touch, quickly, make quick runs, dynamic diagonal runs. No. It is still somewhat offensive, but it's predicated on pass the ball as many times as possible.
Yeah, because I understand that could be like a nuance there. But oftentimes you see the extreme, right? So just kind of like swings in terms of what clubs want to do, right? So you go from defensive managers to attacking managers. That didn't work. Then we go back to the defensive manager. That's not working. Back to an offensive manager. I feel like if we consider Van Gaal to be not defensive, at least in some ways, obviously I know they think like if you have the ball, then nobody can score on you, and that's a form of defense. So obviously they kind of go uber in that way. But Mourinho is like a different kind of defense. He's like, just like, we don't want the ball. We're not going to have the ball. We're just going to be like just compact and resolute and all that kind of stuff. I feel like they kind of got trapped after Van Gaal into like, let's try to shore this thing up maybe. Obviously, they want a big name, and Mourinho's one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name in football management. But I feel like they just went in that direction of just like, let's just be more defensive. And I feel like now they don't have – and obviously now they need an offensive manager. But as you say, I just don't feel like there's a plan in place of like, who do we get? And I actually don't. If we don't, do you know who they could get?
No,
that would make sense to manage Manchester United Football Club.
No. Basically, the name that's been thrown around is Jardim, but then someone said apparently he's taken a job in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, he's gone to he's in Asia. So
I mean, for me, to be honest, it's like because I keep throwing around this name and I don't know where he's at. Loudrop. I've been saying this dude's name for like the past five years. Wait, where is this dude? Does he still manage? I mean, what does he do these days?
He might be in Asia as well. I know he was in like Qatar or Dubai or something.
I mean, to be honest, look, it's a very difficult. Because again, yes, it's just who is available.
Exactly. That's the reason I bring that up is because if we can't come up with an idea, and we're like football people in quotes. Woodward isn't really a football guy. He's more like just a numbers cruncher, a spreadsheet guy. Like he's a businessman.
Which is a problem.
True, but like
that's what Neville was saying because Neville
who do you
was
go
to? The guys who are running the show now are business guys. They're not for football guys.
Which would explain why you go for someone like Van Gaal, who's had experience in the past. Why you would go with someone like Mourinho, who's a big name. You know, like they had Moyes, but that was because Ferguson wanted Moyes. And then they had Ferguson, who's been there before any of them. So, like the only hires they've had to do, they've gone for name recognition rather than maybe who's the right person exactly for this team. And I don't know, like if you say Jardim, I don't know if they would hire Jardim to manage Manchester United Football Club just because his name is Leonardo Jardim. And what have you won before outside of just the Monaco League?
Very quickly on that point. Forget the past and everything. This is what I was discussing with some people. In 2018 right now, purely football, forget about marketing, branding, and so forth. Purely on football. Are Man United a big team? Does putting on the Manchester United jersey, playing at Old Trafford, come with any pressure right now, today as we speak, footballing-wise only? Forget branding, footballing-wise. Is there a massive pressure and everything playing for Man United right now?
I think so.
Still, to this day.
They're probably the most supported football club in the world. Like, I think that does come with a level of pressure. How
can there be? Because again, I think people keep viewing
because of the history. When you're talking about these clubs,
you're looking at this as a macro thing too much. I think just look at it in specifics. And I think people are feeling to look at this in specifics. I get what they've done. I get what the club is. I get they are arguably the biggest club in the world. Branding wise.
You can't divorce that from like the current context. It's why I asked in the beginning, like, can this still be considered a big game? Like, we understand that Manchester United right now are not great. But the reason we care about whether they're great or not is because they used to be. And they still have the capability of being great, given their historical status, their financial status, etc. And the players that they have are performing well under their capacity. And many think that's due in large part to the manager. So if you change the manager, could you get those players playing to a level that would more represent what we think Manchester United should be? Is the question you have to ask. Not necessarily, are they as good as they once were or something like that?
No, I just think that maybe I'm just viewing it differently because you said Jardim, and he said that they wouldn't hire Jardim because he's not a big enough name. And for me, I feel that United, you no longer have that luxury. As of right now, you no longer have the luxury. Like, oh no, we need a big name to come in and do a job for us. Because again, Real Madrid have been crap. They've been crap. Real have been awful. But they won a Champions League trophy last year.
And the year before, and the year before.
And they won the year before, yeah. Very mad, very, very crazy.
And then skip a year and then the year before. So.
Yeah. Okay, look, Danny, I get it. It was messed up. Real Madrid still have the luxury of right. No, we demand a big name to manage the club. So how Solari has a post, I have no idea. So, but for United, sorry, winning the Europa or the FA Cups here? Nah, sorry. Like as of right now, especially this season, I think from the moments of Moyes, Van Gaal, and now, there's been a steady decline.
Mm-hmm.
And how long has it been? Like 5-6 years now of constant decline? I just don't see them as, oh man, this is the Manchester United. You go to Old Trafford and United will have this fear. I mean, there is no fear factor. You go to Old Trafford to score goals. You go to Old Trafford to beat United. You don't go to Old Trafford, oh my, let's have like an away. No, you go to Old Trafford to go and beat United. You go there to let's get at least 2 or 3 G's past these dudes. So, like, maybe I'm weird or something, but I just don't see United as forget branding. Branding, they're still the most supported club in the world. They're arguably the biggest brand in the world. Footballing wise, they're not relevant. Footballing wise, they're
you see, like club. you are looking at this like super kind of objectively, right? And objectively, you're correct. The reason I think, at least I can only speak for myself. The reason I still consider that like Jardim isn't big enough for Manchester United is because I'm jumping into the mind of a Manchester United chairman, of a Manchester United supporter. And I don't know necessarily if they feel like their club has diminished to a level where in which you would be correct. I feel like I feel like everything else tells them they're a big club and we deserve to have our big club back.
Then they're deluded.
It's almost like you would have to swallow your pride almost and start from like we're in 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th perhaps, and you have to swallow that pride basically.
They're 11 points off top 4, bro. 11 points off top 4.
But like from my kind of viewpoint, though, I would feel like it would be very hard to swallow your pride in that way and understand the situation that you're in. Therefore, you would look for a name that fits where you think the club should be, not where it is. You know what I mean?
Look, I mean, fair enough, but for me, I just think there's a time you have to take a real pill. Swallow the real. Look, take the red pill. Okay.
No. Look, like, wait,
very quickly. So you still haven't watched The Matrix?
No, man.
For God's sake, man.
I will watch it. I will watch it eventually, man. Send me your copy. What was I gonna say? Okay, perfect. Maybe not a perfect example, but one that just popped in my head because I'm trying to make a segue. If you look at Liverpool from like the 1970s and the 1980s, 1990s, and 2000s, up until after Benitez, basically, right? Could you ever have convinced somebody that like 10 years from now, maybe not 10 years, 10 years, I guess it was, 10 years from them winning the Champions League in 2005, that Brendan Rodgers would have been their manager? Like a person of the status of Brendan Rodgers, who was at, I think, Reading or someplace like that. Swansea. I think he was Reading, and then he went to Swansea. And then like Brendan Rodgers is manager of Liverpool Football Club, like the team that's won like 5 or 6 Champions League or European Cups or whatever it is. Is it 6? I actually don't know. I think it's 5 or 6.
Fact check.
But yeah, like I feel like that's kind of like a swallow your pride moment. Like Brendan Rodgers, really. Like they had to go to Brendan Rodgers to find someone to get them to their level. He messed up, and then you go for someone who probably you think is on the stature of where Liverpool Football Club should be in terms of Jurgen Klopp. You know what I mean? Like they kind of had to go through that middleman manager almost. Like, should this guy really be at this club? And maybe that's partly why he didn't last, is because people had that doubt in their minds. But I feel like if you look at that, maybe Manchester United could kind of learn from Liverpool in some ways. Like, you're not just going to go out and get the best manager in the world anymore. Like, your club isn't performing at a level where in which that makes sense. So maybe you should go for like someone on that kind of Brendan Rodgers level today.
Yeah.
And have him build your club back to a point where in which when he messes up, because he eventually will, then you go for whoever the Jurgen Klopp of Manchester United could be. Does that make sense?
No. 100% is like,
okay.
I think that sometimes you've got to go backwards to move forwards.
Yeah. For sure. Okay. So this isn't the Manchester United podcast.
No. Look, I was just saying to the way, have we spoken about these guys for like 2 hours or something? I was like, what the?
I don't know. It was like 20 minutes. Go listen to the Rantcast. I'm sure like Paul and Ed are screaming at him. All right. So Liverpool now. Top of the table.
Very quickly. Who is, in your opinion, because I'm asking everyone this, who is Liverpool's best player?
Who is Liverpool's best player?
Simple question.
This is interesting because I'd say their most important player is Van Dijk. I think that's been proven because he makes Lovren look good. Their best footballer. Oh, no, you said player. The best player or the best footballer? The best footballer is Mane, clearly. Or Keita, depending.
Oh, no. That's what I mean. Player, footballer. When I say best player, for the most talented footballer on that team.
It's either Keita or Mane. I'm going to leave Mane, though. I'm going to leave Mane, if only because that Herrera murder is like right in it's in the front of my mind. Okay, so like this is how I will put it. Their most important player is Van Dijk. Their best player is Salah. Their best footballer is Mane.
So what do you mean? Okay, so how do you discern player and footballer?
Footballer is I'm using your terms because I thought you would understand this. So I was trying to delineate it for you, right? Yeah. Footballer means he has the ball at his feet. Who do I like best in the Liverpool team with the ball at their feet? I feel like Mane is far more trickier. He can do more things with the ball at his feet than any other player at Liverpool in terms of an attacking sense. So I call him the best footballer. The most effective player is Salah, I believe, in terms of what he can do physically in terms of his pace, his strength. His eye for a goal is really good. Let's not, poop on his technique either. He has a little bit of wiggle to him as well.
Yeah.
So I just feel like his all-round package makes him their most effective player and maybe their best player in that sense.
Okay.
And then their most important player, as I said, is Van Dijk, because he shows up the defense, something that they didn't have
His
the majority of last season. So that's how I would stratify their team.
No, that's not for me. Like, no, Van Dijk. Okay, no, let me go even further. Where do you rate Van Dijk?
In terms
amongst
of what?
Defenders?
In the world or in the Premier League?
The world.
I mean, that's a really big question. Can I narrow it down to center backs?
Oh no, purely central defenders, because I think central defenders and the flanks, I think those are different disciplines. So purely central defenders. Where do you rank them in the world?
He's like 5 or 4. Because I would
So who would be your top 3 then?
My top 3 would be Chiellini, Godin, and Sergio Ramos.
And where would Koulibaly be?
4.
Ah, interesting. Many Liverpool fans would call you crazy.
What would yours be?
As of right now, I would say Koulibaly 1. then I'd say Godin.
Okay.
Then I would say
I think he's gonna put Van Dijk, people.
You know what? As of right now, I'd probably still say, even if he's been sketchy, I'm still gonna probably ride with Ramos, man. And then I'll probably say Van Dijk. And then probably Skriniar. That's 5. So I'll probably put Van Dijk 4.
Okay. So cool. We have him in the same spot, but just different orders. No. Actually, I think I have him.
No, you had him 5. You had him 5.
Yeah, I had him 5th. All right. So it's been another week. Liverpool have gotten around, I guess, what could have been a tricky fixture, but what eventually wasn't. They're still top of the table, despite Manchester City beating Everton. I guess, you know what? We should probably do this every week. Until like match day 38. Are you giving Liverpool like a big chance? Like if you had to give me a percentage of like chances meant. Okay, how about this? How about we just kind of restart the question? In terms of.
Then they're not winning the Premier League, bro.
I think everyone thinks, maybe not everyone, but a sizable majority of people feel like either Manchester City are going to win the league or Liverpool are going to win the league. So if you had to give me a percentage of which is more likely, like 60-40 Man City, 30-70 Liverpool, like what do you think the percentages are in terms of like who is going to win the league from this point? Because we're almost at halfway.
I say 70-30 Man City.
I feel like I'm more 60-40 Man City.
Ooh, okay. Oh no, because
I feel like it's a bit closer.
No. I think Liverpool's bench is what is swinging me. Their bench and their options off the bench.
Shaqiri came on and did a job, even though like there were deflections.
No, but you know that's what I always say. Like, yes, there were the deflections. You still have to be there and still hit it. So,
yeah, man. What's the saying? If you don't buy a ticket, you can't win the raffle. Yeah, that kind of thing. Like you have to be there and you have to shoot.
Yeah, you've got to. Like, if you're not there in the right position, the right shot, the right power, the right angle, the right technique that forces the defender to make the block and not really properly block it based on the power and the technique of the shot, it leads to that deflection that goes in. So yes, deflection, but a lot. Hence why I think those goals were probably given to him. Like, I don't think those goals went down as own goals.
Yeah, I think they were on target, and then they were deflected, and then it made it difficult for De Gea. But again, like, I put this tweet out when it happened. Like, for Shaqiri's first goal, people were like, oh, Shaqiri, he's been a great signing from Stoke City, and da-da-da. Like, he comes on and scores against Manchester United in the derby, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, how do people watch football these days? Like, the most interesting thing that happened in that move was not the goal. It was the man who was killed on the edge of the 18-yard box. And then Mane puts in the cross, and then the goal happens, and people are like, "Oh, the goal!" I'm like, "No. Like someone was just killed."
No. But you see, that's the weird thing is like
Mane killed him. He just
no. But you see, that's the difference between Mane and most other players in Liverpool for me. When Mane is on, it's like you can't stop this dude.
That's not the first time he's done that to somebody. I think he did it to someone like at Crystal Palace or something.
He's done it
like
many
he puts people in. He puts them in body bags. But
look, I told you, Danny. He's from our region of Africa, or pretty much around our region of Africa, and specifically my region. That's Western region. Okay, and I know it very well. And when you look at what Mane looks like, and even how he celebrates his goals, I know those kinds of Africans. So it's like. When Mane, just as sometimes Mane can be out, but when he's on it, like that's kind of football. Basically, whenever I see Mane, I just feel sad because I'm like, oh my god, this is what it used to be like watching Nigeria back in the 90s, where you have no idea what these guys are doing. These guys, they're so unorthodox, so unpredictable, and the way they're just moving their body and just doing things, you're like, there is no defensive templates of stopping them because they're just coming with a whole different alternative view of football and moving with the ball. So
yeah, it was a West African dribble in that sense, I guess.
No. I call it the show I'm a leg. So there you
go. Yeah, man. Burst from jollof rice and pounded yam and shit.
Look, man, don't start making me hungry. I beg.
Watch Chop. What's it called? Come Chop with HH. Come Chop with HH.
Yeah, co-produced by you, man. So you should actually know what it's called, producer.
No. The reason I didn't know is because like I have like 3 names that I think it could have been or should have been called. So I'm like, which one did we pick? I was gonna say Chop football, but anyway. Okay. So yeah, Manchester City beat Everton. I'm trying to think of what happened in the game.
Everton missed a lot of opportunities, just like they did against Liverpool.
Right. Richarlison had really good chances all game.
As bad as people think he is. So, and I think he proved that with his 2 goals. And I just feel like if it was always going to be an eventuality, and I think again it's like with Everton, just same thing with Liverpool. They're just missing a cutting edge. Oh, I am begging you. Ademola Lookman, if you're listening to this, choose Nigeria because as of right now, you will be our best player. Technically speaking, you outside will be our best player. This kid is incredible. If this guy chooses England, it will break my heart.
He's trouble. Do you know what? I have one question for you. Okay, Silva plays a back 3 of Keane, Mina, and Zuma. Can someone explain how Gabriel Jesus is winning headers? All of those players are at least 6'2", and Gabriel Jesus is maybe 5'8", 5'9".
Oh no!
So I just want to know, how is he winning headers and beating Pickford?
Yerry Mina, when he wears the Colombian shirts, is pretty damn good. When he wears a club jersey, he's a brick, and I'm going to be inducting him. And Zuma, help him. The guy's having to pretty much do all the defending himself. And you could even see his frustration. He's like, bro, jeez. I mean, can I get some help here, please?
He's like, he's marshalling the line. He's making sure people are offside. He's making big tackles. It's like, yeah, man. Okay, so Tottenham won. Eriksen scored in like the last minute, I feel like, of normal time. Tottenham, man, they're like
amazing.
Different. It's different. You know how, like, I guess when we were growing up, Tottenham had this reputation of like they're bottlers. Like every time they have a chance to make a mistake, they make a mistake. They lose games they should win. They draw games where they should like lose or whatever, like or where they should win again. Like they did. Tottenham dropped points when they shouldn't, basically. But now they're rescuing points when maybe they don't deserve them in some ways, which is what we would call like a sign of champions back in the day. But like that, they're not going to be champions. But you know, it's just that sign of a team that has mental fortitude in that way, which I think is fun to see for some, as long as you don't support Arsenal or West Ham or Chelsea, I guess.
Look, no. It's how he's doing it sometimes buying any new players in the summer is a thing of juju, I believe. So
maybe buying players is overrated. Maybe keeping continuity with a certain group over a longer period of time helps you build a level of comfort and...
Sorry. Like, I get it. I get what you're saying, but it's almost like...
I started with maybe. I was thinking it out.
No.
But maybe...
Basically, you don't need to say maybe you're wrong. Thing. Because, no, look, like, the game Challenge Manager, again, I've been playing the game since I was a teenager.
Stop using
every single
games.
Time. What?
Stop using video games as examples.
Oh no, you have to. Basically, every single time the season ends, the first thing, ask anybody that plays the game, the first thing you do, you go to the transfer market. Before you play the game, the first thing you go to, and you can ask anybody this, you go search, player search, and start looking for new players. The whole point of competing is we have to keep on improving. We have to have options. We have to keep expanding the squad because we need to have options. The season hasn't ended yet. The season has not yet ended, so we don't know how the story plays out. We don't know what the December will be like. We don't know what it will be like in the new year. We don't know what their running will be like. What if somebody gets an injury? What if they go off the board? Because the whole point of new players is it keeps people on their toes because you can't rest on your laurels like, hey man, no matter what, I'll always be in the first team. There's a guy in training who's competing to be in that team ahead of you. So you're now forced to not play at the higher level. But also as well, it's different options. Because with every new season, people can figure you out. Because remember, they have loads of tape on what you do. But a new player comes in, you don't have a tape of how that new player fits into your team. So that new player just gives you a different... And every manager must have options. Must have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. So...
Okay. Arsenal took an L against Southampton. Danny Ings scored twice. Charlie Austin. Charlie Austin. I knew it started with A. Charlie Adam.
Leno is under review. I mean, bro, you can't do that, bro. Come on.
I mean, maybe Petacek isn't as bad as y'all thought he was.
No, he is. He's too bad with his feet. So no, although as I've always said, I think a keeper should always focus on keeping, but beyond just his feet, I think he has the decline. This ain't the check of 2004.
Obviously, I'm just saying, like, you don't know what you got till it's gone, kind of thing. Do you know anything about the new Southampton manager?
Hassan Hutel, I think is his name.
I don't know that much about him, so I was hoping maybe one of you two would.
No, because didn't he coach Leipzig previously?
You would have to tell me. I just told you I don't know about him.
So. No, because definitely he was definitely. Let me just do a quick search.
I saw that he was compared to Klopp in some way, so I'm assuming maybe he came from Germany.
So basically, he was.
You might be right.
Yeah, he was the. Oh no! Let me see. Oh no! So what the hell? What the hell is this? So Leipzig. So he was the Leipzig coach. Yeah.
How recently?
No, that was his last job.
Oh,
so
okay.
Unterhaching, VfR Eilen, Ingolstadt, and Leipzig from 2016 to 2018. So no. Very good acquisition because he did very well with Leipzig.
I just never focused on Leipzig's manager like that. It's that way a lot with like German football. Really, like I couldn't tell you who the managers are. Really, outside of like Nagelsmann, Tedesco, Favre, Kovac. The rest, they're just guys. I watched a documentary once. It's called Trainer. I think it's on Netflix. It's about like German coaches. It's quite interesting.
No. Germany have really good managers, man.
It goes through like the process that you kind of go through, like the classes that they make you take in order to, I guess, get like coaching badges or whatever, and how you have to like come up with the philosophy and things like that. It's quite interesting. Chelsea won. Hashtag stat merchants.
Oh yes, yes.
Talk about it, man. Speak on it. Speak on it.
I didn't need the stats personally, but you wanted the stats. 3 assists and a goal in 2 games, and I believe he's 11 assists away from breaking the record of assists in a league.
You know how many people have been close to getting that record? Like Fabregas in 2014-15 was really close. Ozil, I think 2 seasons ago.
So who has the record? Who is it that has the record?
Thierry Henry.
What?
Oddly enough, Thierry Henry had 20 assists in 1 season. I'm forgetting the exact number. But De Bruyne was really close last season. So there have been 3 players in the last...
Wait, are you being serious? 20 assists?
Thierry Henry had 20 assists in the season. He was feeding Bergkamp, I suppose, maybe Perez, maybe whomever, but yeah.
Look, man, Henry was not a joke, man. Henry was not a joke.
How about just to make sure, because you don't believe me. Most
I don't believe you.
In a Premier League season.
Yes.
Thierry Henry, like I said.
Oh my God.
I know my shit, man.
And it is 2020.
Yep, I told you, man. Most Premier League assists in the season. Thierry Henry, Arsenal, 2002-2003. So and the reason I know that is because in 14-15, Fabregas was really close. I think the next year Ozil was really close, and then last season De Bruyne was really close. So like he was on the path of getting 20 assists in a season, but then people get injured or Jose Mourinho decides that he wants to play defensive football for the second half of the season. So Fabregas doesn't get as many assists as he probably should have. Things happen. But yeah, so it's odd, but Thierry Henry, 20 assists.
Wow.
Yeah. So Hazard needs 9 more to get 20?
No, I think they said 11.
11 more. So he has 8 goals and 9 assists.
Tell me, at what time was Hazard considered a goal scorer? Do you know what I said in my review? There's only one player who is a playmaker and a goal scorer, and he's an alien. And Messi. We all know who that is.
Messi. Right.
He's the only guy on this planet, and possibly in history, who is a playmaker and has a crazy high number of goals. He's a freak. No other player in history is required to be a playmaker and a goal scorer. And when guys say, "Oh my gosh, Hazard hasn't scored in 10 free games," bro, the guy's the creative force, the playmaker, the guy that's trying to engineer attacks and everything. I mean,
it's actually, you know what? Have hope. That's a solid point. This is a solid point. Because I can't think of anybody else who's like, okay, create goals and score them.
No,
I can't think of any. But oddly enough, okay, Willian intercepts the pass. He puts in the through ball. And I'm thinking as soon as Willian puts this pass in, I'm like, firstly, be a good pass, Willian, because you've been a bit shaky today. It was a good pass, to his eternal credit. And then I was thinking, if this was Morata, he gets in front of the goal and he misses.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Or if it's Giroud, he doesn't have the pace to get away from the defenders.
Yes.
Therefore, that goal doesn't happen.
Yes.
So is Hazard, this is what I'm thinking, is this guy our best option? Because when he's going through on goal, I'm like, you know what? This is probably a goal. I feel good about this.
Danny,
and then
that's a problem. See, that's where the problem lies. The problem lies where...
But he's not a striker.
But he's a playmaker. Wait, do you know how messed up that is? When Hazard went through, I was like, yeah, this is a goal. But why don't I have that same confidence with 2 strikers who are born to score goals? Like
who cost like upwards of 75 mil?
So basically, Giroud or Morata, who are strikers through and through, I don't have confidence in them scoring in that position.
No.
When Hazard, this is probably going to be a goal.
Definitely not Morata with his weaker foot as well, because I think that might have made him do a left foot finish. Giroud, maybe he gets there, but I doubt that he has the pace to latch onto the ball. So yeah, Sarri seems to like the idea of Hazard as a center forward. I'm not great on the idea. It's not really a false nine because he's actually playing as a striker in some instances.
But because the thing is I think they were doing it a bit in the second half. What's the point in crossing the ball in the air to Hazard?
Do you know what? Like Azpilicueta gets really messed up in that system sometimes because he's so used to like, okay, put it into the striker, put it into Morata, as we saw last season. He got like however many assists just whipping that ball in. It gets to Azpilicueta on the wing, and he's like, well, I can't really cross it. So then they have to recycle it, and it goes again. And then, especially when it's on that right side, you give it to Conte. He's not as great in terms of like finding passes and things like that. You give it to Willian or Pedro. Sometimes it breaks down. It's a whole thing. But I guess you just have to get used to it, and maybe it'll work. Especially, I think Chelsea are looking at maybe buying Martial. Hopefully that comes off. I don't think it will. But like if you put Martial in the number 9,
oh yeah,
and then you move out Hazard out wide, that would make things a little.
Imagine Hazard, Martial, Pedro. Ooh.
Can't complain there. All right. You brought Messi up. I guess Barcelona won 5-0.
Levante are a disgrace.
I saw Suarez. I saw Suarez's goal. That was really good. At least the good one. How many goals did Suarez score?
I think it might have been 2. I think.
All right. So like whichever his best goal was, because I'm assuming out of 5 goals he scored more than 1.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I saw one of those goals. It was really really good.
No, for me like
created by Messi, by the way.
Yeah, look for Levante, I get it. Okay, you're playing a better team, you're an inferior team, and so forth. At least give yourself a chance. Like, if you're not going to just do the basics of the defending, you're going to get crucified, which is what happens now. It could have been 7. Like, Barcelona missed a lot of chances. They missed a lot of chances. It could have been more. It should have been more. So, I mean,
Real Madrid won as well.
Was it?
Real Madrid won as well.
Who were they playing? Is it Rayo Valladolid or something, or 1-0?
Nah, Benzema scored the goal, correct?
And was that why? What's up?
I don't know. I just saw my timeline like big Benz, like Benz. I was like, oh, he must have done something good. And then he got injured, I think. So yeah, that was unfortunate for him.
Look, they're not there yet, man. They're not there yet, bro.
Okay, so are Dortmund going to win the Bundesliga quickly?
I'm still going to go with Bayern Munich.
Why? This is reverse psychology jinxing, isn't it?
No. For me, I can't bet against a team who won it 5-6 times in a row. Like, Dortmund are in a great position, but it's a young team. Do they have the mental fortitude? I don't know. I don't know. No. Okay. Wait. Put it this way: if they're still like 6-7 points or 5 points ahead when they face Bayern and they beat Bayern, then it's all over.
Okay. Juventus won. If we go look at Italy quickly, they beat Torino on a penalty. Did you see Ronaldo scored the penalty and then he kind of bumped into the goalkeeper or defender or something, and then Balotelli put out, "If that was me, something." Basically, like, if I would have done something like that, I would have been sent off, or something would have happened to me. I was like, Balotelli, this is why you my guy, man, because it's true. Like, if Balotelli would have scored a penalty and then just kind of given somebody a bump and then gone to celebrate, man, he would have been like public enemy number 1. Like, oh, look at this ungrateful such.
No, but why did he bump the dude though?
Maybe he was talking trash to him. He was like, I'm gonna save the penalty, or tried to put him off.
Win the bloody Champions League, bro. That's why you're not brought here to score penalties in the bloody Serie A. You're there to win the damn Champions League, my man.
Do you know the Sterling thing we talked about last week? I feel like a little bit of that. Obviously, Balotelli in a different way, because I feel like Balotelli in more ways brings it on himself just by doing stupid things. And maybe the history of him doing stupid things then leads to his bad publicity in the press. But some of the things you see reported on Mario Balotelli are just like, did y'all really have to say that? Or is this?
Oh, no. I think
a campaign.
No, true. Like, I think once a guy does something and he presents himself a different way, newspapers and outlets, they just make it a running narrative to not blow every single thing he does out of proportion. So
right. But Sterling, I think that's really different. I don't think Sterling is as
No. It's totally different.
Infamous in that way as Balotelli. But I do think some of the time you read things about Balotelli, and it's like, really? Speaking of Balotelli, I guess maybe the reason he had free time is because Liga has been postponed for the past couple weeks because of riots that have been going on.
Yellow vest, man, Jean de Jean, whatever it's called. Le Jean, vest.
Jean vest. Jean vest.
Look, Macron, man, stay in there, buddy. Did you know he's married to his teacher?
It's strange, but far be it from me to get killed talking about some Illuminati conspiracy or whatever the hell that is. I don't know what's going on.
Look, man, true love, innit? So what can you say?
It's creepy, man. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it is odd. That's what I was saying. It's just like
I have a comment, but I kind of don't want to say it. No, I was like, nah, I don't even know if I want to say it in private.
C'est pas possible.
It was gonna be about the porn categories he watches.
I mean, can we say MILF on this podcast or?
I don't know. He might not. If he's like, could you? How long has that relationship been going on?
I don't know, for quite a while, man. I think for quite a while.
Like, he doesn't seem like that old of a guy. So if he's been married for 15 years, like, he must have really been on that MILF tip.
Look, man.
We all have our categories, man. We all have our categories.
No, we all do. I mean, as long as it's not pedophilia, go ahead.
Or like the animal stuff,
like harming anybody. Yeah, fine. Go ahead.
Do you remember like LimeWire and BearShare?
Oh my God, LimeWire, man. Yeah.
You would type in Michael Jordan highlights, and then you would get like.
I was like, yeah, this ain't Mike Jordan or
and then you would get
your highlights, but these are some different kinds of highlights,
You get like 2 girls, 1 cup for like
Oh God, man.
There was one where there was like a woman and a horse.
Oh,
I was just like, Jesus. And you don't have to click play.
I saw that, so unfortunately, I think I saw that.
And you don't have to click play. But if you're like 15,
yeah, of course you
click play.
You're clicking play faster than you can click play. So,
all right. So yeah, hopefully French football comes back sometime in the next month. Okay.
Hopefully somebody can catch up to PSG, man. It's just really close in the league. So
it's not really. All right, so we got a few minutes. Let's talk about this Champions League draw. So, what are you feeling? What are the standout matchups to you?
Biggest tie is Atletico Juventus. The best match will be Dortmund Tottenham. Ajax Real Madrid will be interesting. I think that is touch and go. Ajax Real Madrid, they can go either way. And Liverpool will be happy with the matchup against Bayern Munich. I don't think Bayern have enough to. I think that's a bad matchup for Bayern. So
Bayern have historically had Klopp's number, no?
Well, this is a whole different Bayern that's a lot older, not enough young, fresh players, and Boateng and Hummels are bricks. So,
but maybe the fact that they know Klopp is to their advantage.
But it could work the other way.
Actually, no.
Klopp knows them as well. Klopp knows them as well.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe the fact, looking at the reverse, Klopp knows those players because they're so old. Those players aren't going to really know Liverpool like that, are they? In the same way they would have known Dortmund anyway. I don't know. You might be right about that one. City got lucky again with the draw.
I mean, really, Schalke, really? Give me a break. No. Let me see. When they pulled that out, I was like, guys, get the hell off my screen, man. Really? Give me a break.
No. They're gonna play Schalke, and then they're gonna play the winner of who's Roma? Who's Roma playing? What's that one?
Oh, FC Porto.
They're gonna get the winner of that one. It's gonna be easy semi, man. They're gonna get either Roma or Porto, and they're gonna win that one in the round of 8, the quarterfinal. This is Pep, man.
Look, there's an easy path to the final for them, man. There's a path to the final.
Yeah, man. Knowing them, like, I don't know, Leon will get there somehow. You know what? Leon Barca. It's interesting.
You see, for Barcelona, they're favorites. They should win it. Leon can cause them issues. I think the pie, what's it called? The pie for Kier, some of their flank players. I just think that even at the company they cannot cause them issues. I just think, but Messi will be the difference, and I don't think Leon have an answer for what Messi will be able to do to them, and if Dembele shows up.
Yo, I wanted to bring something up. I saw a picture that I thought was kind of interesting. It's just they have 6 players here in this picture, and I didn't realize just how many people are like going back to their old clubs in that way. But Di Maria played for United, is now at PSG, so that's interesting clash. Shaqiri was at Bayern, and now he's with Liverpool. Mandzukic was at Atletico, now he's at Juventus.
Yeah, that was because I wasn't sure. I was like, oh yeah, did Mandzukic play for Atletico? Oh, okay, yeah.
Huntelaar used to be at Real Madrid. Now he's with Ajax. Leroy Sané obviously was from Schalke. Now he's playing with Manchester City. And then if he's back fit, which I'm assuming he will be in February, Umtiti used to play for Lyon. Now he plays for Barcelona. So there's like a lot of people who are going back to a former club, which I found quite interesting.
Yeah,
it seems to always happen, whether in the group stage or somewhere like Drogba going back to Chelsea. Or
but those are quite a few though. Never like to be that many really.
In the group stage, you had like Ronaldo go back to Manchester United, obviously. It wouldn't surprise me if like PSG beat Manchester United and then Juventus beat Atletico Madrid, and then you had a PSG Juventus, and then you have Buffon going back. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah,
So what are you saying? Juventus, Atletico?
I feel like it's
got to be Juventus, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like considering the high-octane offenses that could have been out there for Chiellini, Bonucci, Barzagli, for those guys to defend, to get Atletico, who kind of like to sit back and aren't really on that kind of high-octane kind of stuff, it plays into their hands rather than playing someone like a Liverpool, for instance, who are going to put pressure and intense pressure on those kind of old legs, if you will. So I'm going to lean to Juventus, and plus they're going to score goals because they have like an automatic goal. They're going to score at least twice. So they have Ronaldo, so that's at least 2 goals. So yeah, I would lean Juventus, but it's not going to be easy.
Oh no! I mean, like that is the big tie of the. I mean, that's for me. I think that is really the close tie of the.
Okay, so like. Do you want to go through? Let's go through these and just pick what we think is going to happen. So UEFA Champions League. Here's the full Champions League draw. Shout out to Twitter, bro.
Hey.
All right. So we did Juventus Atletico. All right, Man City Schalke. What do you think?
Schalke. Just give me a break.
Yeah, Man City. Manchester United PSG.
Bro,
is there any chance
if Neymar is playing for those 2 legs and they do not beat United, I want him to retire from football. More so, I expect PSG to beat United by at least 2 clear goals in both legs. But let me say this: what if Mourinho is sacked before that game?
I don't think Mourinho's going to be sacked for the Champions League. I really don't, because he would have been sacked already. But they can't sack him because...
let's say like they're like 15th going into that. They've lost like 6 games in a row or something. He still keeps the job. Happen.
That's
bro. I see how these guys are operating. Have you seen Lukaku's first touch? So
do you know what? Go back. I know we spent a lot of time on this, but forget it. It's our podcast. We can do what we want. People are saying Manchester City, like this pet Manchester City side, are like the greatest Premier League side ever. Like, or maybe not the greatest, but the best Premier League side ever. Right?
They didn't go unbeaten.
That's why I would say that people would put the Invincibles as greater.
Yeah,
but best in terms of like played the best in terms of like most points, most goals, etc.
They're up there.
So if this Pep team is the best in quote Premier League team that we've ever seen, and Liverpool have more points than them as like of today at time of recording, is losing 3-1 at their home ground really that bad?
It's the manner in which they lost. Forget the scoreline. Like for me, I never look at scorelines. As I told you, I'm not a stats merchant. I don't look at numbers or anything. Liverpool were so much better than United. And United were so bad.
It's just an argument in Mourinho's defense, I suppose.
Obviously, it was really bad. Cop him a plea. It's me. You can't cop him a plea, bro. He's been moved to the Class B wing. He was moved last night to the Class B wing of the academy. So
it's just like the moment you choose, the moment you see Pogba on the team sheet and you're creating the team and you're just like, nah, like no bail for you, bro. You have to spend the weekend in lockup, bro. Like nobody's coming to get you, man. What's the next one? Dortmund, Tottenham, or Tottenham, Dortmund, I suppose.
Jeez, tough. But for me, because the second leg is in Germany, I'm edging towards Dortmund.
I always think the second leg at home is more dangerous, especially if you can blank the first one. But
so let me ask you: if you're a manager, which would you rather have? Home leg, first leg, or home leg, second leg?
I'd rather have the home leg first.
Ah, you're like me.
Okay, cool.
No, because I think
there is no way in like 100 episodes we haven't talked about this. But for the people who are unaware, I feel like if you have the home leg first, you can get the result you need. And then if you have an away team, or if you go away in the second leg, all you need is one away goal, and that just puts you up. So you need a clean sheet at home and an away goal in the second leg, and that means they have to score at least twice on you.
But if we go back to the Guardiola era, and for Barcelona, who for some weird reason always had the second leg at home, like almost all the time, in their view was like, it doesn't matter what the hell happens, we can overturn it.
Yeah. So that too.
You know, so that's like, it doesn't matter what happens. We know that once we get to the new camp and we have how many goals we are behind. Look, what's it called? PSG. The miracle at Camp Nou.
But okay, this is interesting.
And also remember, it puts a lot of pressure on you for that first leg to get it right in that first leg. So
okay, but this is interesting. This point that I have, we both come from the Mourinho school. Meaning, if you have the second leg at home, they're not going to just run riot over you. So, like me coming from that school of like when I first started understanding how football works, Jose Mourinho was the manager of Chelsea Football Club, and Jose Mourinho is your idol. Like that kind of defensive, kind of rigid football.
Yeah,
you're not just gonna go to the home leg and just the second leg away. That home team is not just gonna just blitz you. Because we know what we're going to do on this away. Like we're going here for a mission. We're getting the mission done. We're going back home with an advancement or the trophy or whatever the case may be. Like, so I think that kind of might play into why we think the way we think about this. Yeah. But if you do come from the Pep school, maybe you do want that home leg last because then you can display your offensive football at home. There's a big atmosphere. Or like maybe if you're at the new camp, or definitely if you're like someplace like Liverpool that has that Anfield atmosphere, like you might want that second. That way, like it might intimidate in some way. But yeah, definitely, like I would want to go away, just so if I can score one away goal, it puts pressure on you, especially if we did what we were supposed to do in the first leg. But we'll see. Ligue Lyon, Barca.
Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona.
Yeah.
Although I would like to see Lyon win, but it's not.
No. Leon will give them issues, but I just think as long as Messi is there, he'll make the difference.
Roma, Porto. Will anyone watch this in huge numbers? I wonder.
Porto.
Interesting.
Roma haven't been doing too well. Remember, they lost Alice in Wonderland and they lost 9 goals. So
I haven't watched either of these teams enough to actually put out an opinion I'd feel good about. Ajax, Real Madrid. People really think Ajax is going to get Real Madrid.
So do I. Add me to that list. Unless Real Madrid drastically change, I'm going with Ajax.
See, we have to think like this is after the transfer window, right? So,
but remember, you can't unless you're going to find a stud who hasn't played in the Champions League already. Who are you going to find in January who is good enough that you can include in the Champions League?
Somebody from the Europa League?
No. You need a Hazard or a Neymar to really make a difference for you, Real Madrid, bro. That's what you really need.
Not to be Ajax. But I'm saying like there must be something that they're gonna do over the course of like the next month. And Liverpool Bayern. So you're going Liverpool easily.
Yeah. Pick one.
I feel like I should say Liverpool. I want to say Bayern, but there's just something about Liverpool this season that I think they're really dangerous, and I wouldn't want to play them at all, despite the fact that they almost didn't make this round.
and they lost all 3 of their away games.
Yeah, I mean, I just as we said earlier, I just don't know if Bayern match up well. Like if that was Real Madrid or if it was Barcelona or if it was somebody like that, like I'd probably pick them. But I don't. This isn't Bayern season. It seems like so. But maybe when like their league form is down, and Borussia Dortmund look like they're going to do something. Maybe this is the season where, like, one last hurrah for all those like the Mullers and the
Look, it's Robin's final. Do you know how depressing that is? This is Robin's final season. The ban. Do you know how screwed up that is, man? That's messed up, man. So what? So Robin's just going to get baptized in the second round, and that's it. That's the end of his ban career. I mean, really?
Do you know what? There was that one. Do you know what? It's different. It's different actually, because they've won it already. So it's not like this is their last chance or something like that. All right, so let's do a couple questions and then we can get out of here. Because I'm losing my energy.
Man, same.
If PSG dare to lose to Man 7th Disunited, Man 7th Disunited, are they in the Brick Academy for life again? From Theo season.
You know what the weird thing is? Like, I think their badge is supposed to still be in the Brick Academy, but I think they're scared because after the miracle at Camp, I said, no, these guys are staying in it to like I think they win the Champions League or something. So I think I probably missed that because they're rather there. But yeah,
they signed Neymar. They signed Neymar, and then you took him out.
Look, bro, if they don't beat you, United, man, they're going to be consequences.
I thought it was Boychester divided.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, if they don't defeat Boychester divided, man, they're going to be serious repercussions.
You remixed my title, I think.
Oh.
I had Manchester divided, and then you put Boychester. I was like, damn, that was good. How should Chelsea and Arsenal play the Europa League fixtures? Well, actually, you know what? Let's save that one. Let's get the Champions League ones out the way. Which teams have the most pressure on them to perform in each respective Champions League draw? Interesting. Can we just
sorry again? Which teams have the least or the most expectation?
Which teams have the most pressure on them to perform in the Champions League draw? So, like in these particular matches.
I mean, I think Barcelona.
The favorites. So all the favorites, I think, would have the pressure. So, like Manchester City have pressure.
Oh, huge.
I don't know if Liverpool have pressure in that way.
No,
because they're playing Bayern.
And for me, I think Liverpool and Dortmund, because this is what I think Liverpool and Dortmund, I believe their priority should be the league.
Yeah,
their priority should be the league.
I think Real Madrid has huge pressure. Huge pressure.
Oh, easy. It's Real Madrid, man. So
Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid sounds better. Real Madrid. I think that sounds better. But hey, when are we doing Brick Door? Or when are you doing Brick Door?
Oh no, what's called? Actually, I was speaking to Devil from Football Partnership. Like, I'll be making an announcement sometime this week, and we're gonna try and set up a ceremony in January. I'm trying to find an actual brick.
So, I told you about this. You need to find a brick, paint it gold, and go from there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No. We're working on a ceremony in January.
Like we do realize door. Maybe people don't speak French. Like ballon is ball, and the door is of gold. So
yeah.
So the brick door would be brick of gold. How should Chelsea and Arsenal? No, I thought there was another one. What's the more iconic performance? De Lima at Old Trafford 0203 or Neymar at Old Trafford 1890?
wait. Sorry. Say again.
Tosin asked, what's the more iconic performance? De Lima, basically OG Ronaldo, at Old Trafford in 0203 or Neymar at Old Trafford in 1819. So he's saying, is Neymar going to have a more iconic performance than Ronaldo did?
This guy's sick in the head, man. Ronaldo will still have it because Neymar.
Can Liverpool beat Bayern at home in leg one with Van Dijk's suspension and their defensive injuries?
Yeah, no, they can't. They can't.
I think they might be able to. Yeah. Maybe. But Van Dijk missing, considering we're putting him like top 5 center back.
No, it's big, but for me, I think like
you're gonna go in there with like Matip and Lovren against Lewandowski.
But which would you rather have? Van Dijk missing for the home leg or the away leg?
I would rather him not missing at all, especially going against.
If you had to choose, home or the away, there is a right answer.
The home leg.
Oh, so you would rather he missed the home leg?
Yeah, I would want him in the away leg.
Yeah, because
that's going to be the tougher game.
There you go.
All right.
So it's cool.
Yeah. All right. Last question from Gowan69. I guess he asked another question, but we don't have time. How should Chelsea and Arsenal play the Europa League fixtures? Go all out in their first game and coast the second? All out in both? All out in the away game? Chelsea play Malmo and Arsenal play
Bate
Borisov. So I don't know if they need to go all out in one leg or all out in the other. I think they just show up, they don't get any red cards, and they win the game.
Basically, let their quality do the talking.
Right. I feel like Emery and Sarri are going to play their best teams in those games, but I feel like against Malmo and Bate, they might not even have to. Like light rotation. Play Loftus-Cheek, play.
Oh look, man! Don't underestimate.
Guendouzi, play like I'm not saying.
Also, can Callum Hudson or do I please get some game time? Is that too much to ask?
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with that situation. Apparently, he's not trying to sign a contract. And I wrote about this years ago about how like you keep toying around with these young footballers about like, oh, we're gonna put you on loan and then you're gonna come back and you're gonna get in the team. Eventually, one of these generations, and it's this one, is figuring out, I'm just going to use Chelsea to improve myself footballing wise. And then if they don't give me exactly what I want, I'm not going to end up like a Charlie Busanda, like a
smart,
like a who's the guy that said Brentford McEachran. I'm not going to end up like Gaio Kakuta. Like, are you kidding? Like, I'm 19, I'm 18, 19, 20. I'm not going to just go on loan to Vitesse 9,000 times. Like, no, like I'm not going to sign a contract. And I'm going to go where I want. So Solanke figured that out. He went to Liverpool. He's not having the greatest of times, but at least he got his money.
Yeah.
I think there was a guy this summer who went to Monaco instead of signing again with Chelsea. So he's doing it that way. So I wouldn't be surprised if Callum Hudson-Odoi ends up at a Bayern or someplace like that, especially if he's seeing like Jadon Sancho balling out at BVB. Yeah, so more power to him. Like, take control of your career. Don't let Chelsea play you just so they can make money on you, make money off you on the back end. Like, no, just take control of your career, and hopefully he has like a good team around him that knows what they want to do, where they should go. But yeah, if Chelsea lets you go, that's their loss, not yours. It's because he's really good.
Very good.
Yeah, you got any other topics? I feel like I'm talked out, man.
Bro, I'm good.
All right. Yeah, this has been the Talking Tactics podcast. Last podcast of 2018, sorry.
It's been a good year, guys. It's been swell. 2018 has definitely been. So what's happening? So 2018, Real Madrid, they won the Champions League for 30 minutes in a row, which was embarrassing. Man City took the absolute piss in the Premier League. World Cup.
France got that W like I said they would.
Wait. Did you generally say France would win the World Cup before? Was that your pick?
Have hope. I've picked France. I picked France for the Euros. I picked France for the World Cup. Guess who's going to win the Euros next year, basically? Who's going to win Euro 2020? You guessed it. France. Who's going to win the World Cup in 2022? You guessed it. France. That's my pick, okay? Up until the fact that like they don't have talent anywhere, which is never going to happen. I'm always going to be right at least once.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I pick France for every major tournament. And I'm not even like...
No. France have the most talent than any other country. That's for sure.
We'll see. So, yeah. Definitely pick them. What else happened this year, man?
Wait. No. Dembele was in January, wasn't he? It wasn't in the summer.
I think it was last year.
Was he?
Coutinho was in January.
Okay. I thought, okay, wow. So Dembele was last summer. Huh? So, yeah, so Coutinho moving in January. Barcelona almost going unbeaten in La Liga. That they came close, but
the big transfer move this summer was Cristiano going from Real Madrid to Juventus.
Yeah, that was
because last year it was Neymar.
Yeah,
it was definitely Dembele definitely moved last summer because Neymar went to PSG and then they bought Dembele from Dortmund.
That was a knock-on effect. Yeah.
So Van Dijk obviously went in January from Southampton to Liverpool, so that was a good buy.
After going on a hike and taking pictures in a private jet.
Yeah, man, it was a good 2018, man. So we do this every Tuesday. Everyone follow us on all the social medias: SoundCloud, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you're listening on an Apple device, remember leave us a 5-star review. It's 5 stars. We'll read it on the show, provided Apple gets their stuff together.
Hell yeah.
On Spotify, follow us on Spotify. We got on Spotify this year. Shout out to them. Follow Have Hope where?
Follow boy at Have Hope Hot on Twitter and at the Have Hope on Instagram and Have Hope Football Hot on YouTube.
You can follow me at Daniel to look. Follow Carl at Anchorman 616 one time. Yeah, we're at Talking Tactics. This has been the Talking Tactics podcast. Signing out for the last time of 2018.
Yeah, man. Good year. Thank you, 2018. You've been beautiful. You've been nice. You've been swell. Thank you for the World Cup. Perhaps the last great World Cup that we'll ever have.
The next one's gonna be
easy.
Winter.
easy. FIFA could cut us a check. So relax.
No. This time, 4 years from now, exactly this time will be the start of the Qatar World Cup. So all you got to do is just not get hit by a bus. Don't do any weird drugs, and just stay alive for 4 years, and then we get the World Cup in winter. Wow. Talking Tactics podcast. Sometimes funny, sometimes serious.
Always football.
We will see you next year. Peace.
Stay black. Peace.